What's up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big John and G, the two-gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. Alright, so we've been through the unboxing. We have seen the setup. And now, my friends, I am going to show you how to play Theomachy. Alright, I'll see you all down the table. Welcome back, my friends, and here we are with the How to Play, the perfect follow-up for the setup video. Now, first thing I want to point out is that Theomachy, when you're playing the basic game, which is what you should be starting with, when you play the basic game, there's going to be 4 phases. That's going to be the start phase, betting phase, the battle phase, and the prayer phase. To start with, each player is going to draw 5 cards from their 8-card starting deck. But they're not going to let the other players know what these cards are. Now, if you have to draw, and you don't have the 5 that you need, then take what you can. Put it in your discard pile, shuffle it up, and then take what you need to make 5. If any card has an effect that allows you to hold on to a card, to keep a card in your hand, then you will only be drawing that you need to make 5. In this case, holding the 1, just drawing the 4. Now, I know we left off with the setup. I told you I was going to tell you about the constellation during the How To Play, and now it is time to do that. The constellation deck shows different elements, such as air, fire, earth, and water. And some of them have 1, 2, or 3 of these silvery orbs, or 1, 2, or 3 of these darkened orbs. Order and chaos. And that tells you the element and the power. So, for the first round, you're going to shuffle the deck up. You're going to lay the first 3 out face up. And then the last 2 will be face down. This gives you the constellation for the current hand. When a hand is over, the constellation is likewise discarded. The 2 cards will be revealed. And then, once again, with the 1, 2, 3 face up, two face down, and a discard pile. As you go through this a couple of times, you will run out of your constellation deck, at which point you will have to reshuffle it. Of course, that makes sense. But the real reason that I'm bringing this up is that each time that you're going to have to reshuffle the constellation deck, you're going to change the ante. If there's no token out, then that means the ante is 1. After the first shuffle, you will put the 2 down to remind everyone that there is a 2 ante. When this is shuffled again, it'll be flipped over to the 3 ante side. The ante will never go above 3. At this point, each player will look at their congregation, and starting with the first player, they will ante up 1 token to their ante pool. Remember, if the token is at 2, then you will have to ante up 2, 3, 3. And remember, if you have to ante up and you're short, that means you've been eliminated. Now, wait a moment. Who is Player 1? Well, for the very first beginning round of the game, Player 1 should be determined either by the owner of the game, the player with the most experience with the game, maybe, I don't know, who has the longest beard. It really doesn't matter. However, each subsequent round after that, the first player will always be the player who was the winner in the previous round. The next phase is the betting phase. This is done Texas Hold'em style. Now, after the first and the second of the 3 betting phases, their rounds, you are going to flip one of the cards. Don't forget that. After the first and after the second, these will be flipped. The betting phase is broken up into 2 parts: actions and betting. Now, during the actions, and starting with the first player, each player may play an effect, location, or power card. Effect cards will say effect in the lower right of the picture, such as this one. This one is a good example because it has an ongoing effect, which will stay in play as long as the card is in play. Ongoing. Choose a worshiper in your stake and place him on this card. Opponents cannot remove the worshiper from your stake. If you lose the hand, folding or losing the battle, the chosen worshiper returns to your congregation, for that worshiper is immortal! Other effect cards will be immediate, such as this one, Thought Reading. Choose an opponent. This opponent must hide 1 card in his hand and show you alone all of the others, because you're reading his thoughts, and he or she doesn't have time to hide but 1. Now, when an effect card is played, it will be played out in front of you. Location cards. Location cards are played in front of you, like so, but they can only be played if you have a named token, if you have a hero that you can place on that card. This particular location says place an initiate on this card. In the battle, you can play attacks from multiple elements. You also have the option, if you have any, to play a power card. Now, as you see, the power card looks just like one of the element cards. However, the back is different. So you may end up with some of these in your hand. You can opt to play one of these. What this does is it gives you access to further power. In this case, the element of fire and 2 chaos. Now, this continues from the first player all the way around, and it will happen until everyone decides to pass. Now, the reason this really becomes important is how you're going to play those effect cards I was just telling you about. See, now I put down 2 power cards. Both of them are fire element. One of them is 2 chaos, and the other is 2 order. This now would allow you, if you had wanted to play the effect card, the Fervent Prayers, which will allow you to draw 2 cards, then discard one of them, you are going to need to be able to match up 5 Order and 1 Lightning. This is accomplished by what you have out in your playing area, along with what is out in the constellation. And in this case, the constellation is showing 3 and 1 is 4, 5, 6, and we have a lightning out as well. So the current player, would be able to, well, this player here, would be able to use this and put it out. And the effect has an immediate effect, and he'd be able to draw 2 more cards. It only has 1. So he would shuffle up, or she would shuffle up. Let's make a new draw deck, and then grab their second card. So just remember, you need the required number or more. Needed 5, in this case there were 6 orbs, so that was enough to pull it off. Another good reason to have some of these power cards out will be when you get to the battle phase. But we're not quite there yet. We still have to talk about the betting part of the betting phase. After an entire round goes by and everyone passes, the betting part of the betting phase will begin. 2 things to keep in mind. First of all, if nobody has raised the stakes yet, you have 2 options. You can pass, which means you do not add a worshiper to your stake, or you raise by taking one of the worshippers and adding it to the stake. You can call, which is adding worshippers as needed to equal the highest stake, or you can raise, which is the same as calling, but then you get to add 1 more token to the stake. This will continue with passing, calling, or raising until everyone has passed. Keep in mind that you may always decide to fold. You will immediately lose this hand. When you lose a hand, several things will happen. You will discard all your tokens from your stake to the bank. You will discard all the cards, powers, effects that were in play to the discard pile. You will discard any cards you have remaining, and you're not considered in play until the prayer phase begins. During the battle phase, you may decide to pass or play any number of attack or power cards that you may have. All attack cards played by a player in a single battle must be of the same elements. When playing the cards, keep in mind that your attack cards, whatever the element is, they're all going to have to be the same element. In this case, playing Unity, it would have to be the lightning, the sky. And this says that at the battle's end, add might +1 for each worshipper in your stake. You would play that out for the battle phase. After playing the cards that you are able to play during the battle phase, the battle's end phase will begin. Now, each player's might, because this is a battle, might versus might, divine strength versus divine strength. And in order to figure out your might rating, then you're going to add up the attack cards that you played, plus the face value of all the worshippers remaining in your stake. So in this case, we are looking at, there is no power attack cards out. So we're looking at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 over here. Now here we do have a +6 might card showing. So that's going to add in. So that will be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 17. If there's a single winner, as there was in this case with player 3, then he can take 1 priest token from the bank and add it to his congregation, like so. And now, if player 3 did not also have a prophet, then one of those would be taken as well. The winner gets to take back his or her stake. The congregation, the flock returns, while the other players get to take theirs back in the bank. Gets to take any cards remaining in his or her hand and put it in their discard pile. All cards in play from all players go to their respective discard piles as well. Now, don't think I forgot about that prayer track that we set up in the other video. In turn, starting with the first player, each player will buy one of the prayers, buy this miracle. Now, the cost is shown above the card. So these would be free to take. It would cost you nothing to take one of these cards. However, if Hurricane with the +4 might is what you wanted, as it seems easier to get out than the Chain Lightning, you would have to reach into your congregation and throw 2 to the bank, just in order to get this card. If perhaps, let's say, the third player did not like the choices, you can always, for free, take a blind grab and gamble off of the top. These cards, whether they're free, bought, or a gamble, are placed in your discard pile. If at any time one of the slots that cost gets taken, that will immediately be filled back up. Then it's on to the cleanup segment of the prayer phase. Now, any free cards that are missing will get replaced. And in order to do so, you're going to move everything up 1 card to the left, away from the deck. And then the new card is taken off at the top and placed back down in the open slot. And when you are finished with the prayer phase and the cleanup segment, it's time to start a brand new hand with the start phase, with each player drawing 5 cards from their deck. Much faster and much easier when you're not talking your way through this, through the whole how to play. Trust me on that. So that's it. Just remember, you're going to start by drawing 5 cards into your hand. You're going to be moving into the betting phase, and from there you're going to move on to the battle phase, and then the prayer phase. And it is great that they have these cool player aid cards. It definitely does help. So no matter what you're playing, whether it's Warrior Gods, whether it's the Ancients, or using the new Blood expansion, the rules basically stand just like that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for subscribing to Two Gun Pixie. I want to also give a big shout out to everyone that's been going over to our Facebook, our Instagram, and our Twitter pages and sites and checking out what we're doing over there. And then we got the Two Gun Pixie Zazzle store. And we've been having a few hits over there, so people have been checking it out, and that's really cool. Thank you very much. You never know when you might find something that you think looks nerdy. And right over here on YouTube. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing, for watching our videos, for liking and commenting. And please, keep on sharing the videos that you like. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G. Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming. And my friends, I am out of here. What's up, nerd?